Hey guys, Banana Luck here and welcome back to another Virtual Realms video. So we got quite a bit of things coming up this week. We do have the Krodor fusion, which has been teased for quite a while and that's finally upcoming. It's going to be running for close to 4 weeks, I think. Yep, 4 weeks, that's coming. And it seems like the way that we're going to do this fusion is that we're going to be trying to get the epic hero, Draga. And also, I think getting this hero Gogran is how you're gonna get Draga if you don't get to pull her. So yeah, I think it's gonna come off as rewards from all these little events here and there. Kind of like shut summons, but instead over here, yeah, collecting these rares and fusing them into Krodor instead. And we also have a special event coming up this weekend. It's a 10x summon, unfortunately. I think if it was a 2x, 10x, it would be even better because these heroes aren't that amazing, in my opinion. But we'll take a look at their kit later. So first of all, let's take a look at Krodor. So it's a defense. He's a defender from the Northerner faction, like most of the Northerners. And we look at basic stats wise, it's pretty alright. Attack is on the lower end. I mean, he's a defender overall, but what's interesting is that his damage actually scales off defense, and similar like Gun, he has this effect where defense increases every time he takes damage, capping out at 7%. So take a look at his first. It's just a basic attack kit, 120% damage to one enemy. And his other passives, once HP drops below 30%, immediately enters a state of anger, bellows at up to 10 enemies, and inflicts attack reduction on them. So the attack reduction is for 20% for 10 seconds. And the next 5 basic attacks change into striking at most 10 enemies a hit, dealing 150% AoE damage and inflicting stun. And ultimate won't be available when this happens to him. And this can only be triggered one time. So honestly, if you ask me, I don't think damage is really what you're looking at here. When I see this striking 10 enemies ahead and inflicting stun bit, and the stun being stunned for 2 seconds, what I think of immediately is the Hellfire Emperor Immortal Codex. Because if this guy can stun lock 10 enemies at the same time, if you can somehow time it such that this only triggers at the last bit, I can foresee this guy doing lots of control. And I think that it just sounds great for content like that. And then his last skill, based on the numbers of adjacent allies, increases physical damage reduction dealt and damage dealt. So effect reaches a maximum of 12% when there are 3 allies in range, and the max increase goes up to 24%. So it does sound like he has some damage in his kit, but we don't have the chance to test him out, so I can't know for sure. But it sounds very promising. And onto its ultimate. Increases block by 2, defense by 70%, effect lasts for 15 seconds at max level that goes up to 20, and the defense increase goes up to 100%, skill cost at 900 rage cap. 900 is slightly high, if I can be honest, but yeah, I think once again this points me towards Hellfire Emperor Codex, because increased block is really what you want to get. And I think that what's going to happen with Krodor, like what you're really going to try to do, is to trigger his ultimate and let the passive like Braveheart be the last thing that triggers. So in the last few waves. So this is sort of out of control. I think if they swapped it around somehow, where you could trigger Braveheart instead, I think it will make the hero a lot better for Hellfire Emperor because of that stun that he gives. What I'm concerned now is that he triggers Braveheart very, very early on. The control that we're looking at here just becomes useless. But we're talking about other content, like campaign and all that, then this makes sense. And then Awakenings, I don't really know why I want to take a look at this, because at the end of the day, he's a fusion. I don't think people are gonna get much copies of him, but we'll just take a look at it anyways. A1. When gaining shield strengths increase by 20%. Makes a lot of sense because this guy's Northern faction, so shields are going to be pretty common. Then a flat defense increase, and A3 during the state of anger, basic attack restores additional rage of 50. So that means that each of that basic attack that he does is gonna restore rage. And then all damage reduction by 8%, that's nice. And wow, okay, this is pretty good. State of Anger has a cooldown time of 60 seconds. That means that he can trigger this every 60 seconds. That's A5 though. I don't think many people are gonna get Krodor at A5 unfortunately. But it does sound really juicy, you know, getting him to that A5 is gonna be like just doing non-stop control, especially if you place him there for a long term. So pretty neat hero. I think one of the cooler defenders that we had so far. Not just pure defense, also does some damage. It will be interesting to see how much damage he can actually do, but I'm quite doubtful that he's gonna be a full-blown DPS. I think he's just gonna be like a defender slash, you know, a bit of damage as well. And after all, he's from the Northerner faction, so Lord boost wise, he's not gonna be dealing a lot of damage. But maybe with Elder, he could be pretty decent. I have. So that's Krodor. I don't think we have any announcement regarding the actual fusion yet. We'll probably get it tomorrow when all the banners expire. That's what I'm guessing. Yep, I don't think we have anything yet, so we'll just hold on to that. And the next hero we're gonna talk about is gonna be Trusk. So Trusk, I thought was gonna be from the Northern faction, but no, it's actually from Esoteristic. So I think there's only 3 defenders so far. That's the ancient exclusive Lord Cyrus in the Esoteristic faction, as well as the other guy, Adef. So Trusk is gonna be the 3rd defender. And once again, he's a defense scaling damage dealer. All damage dealt scales off defense. Each basic attack has a 15% chance of triggering a roll, which does 120% AoE damage to at most 3 enemies. And additionally, when HP is below 50%, restores 5% max HP for every 4 instances of damage. Once again, this sounds great for, you know, Hellfire Emperor because of that the HP restoration. So he does do magic damage, which is pretty interesting. And his first passive, when the ultimate is triggered, the hero pulls 1 unblocked target in an adjacent tile towards himself. Defense increases by 10% and blocked by 1 until the ultimate ends. That screams Hellfire Emperor to me. So that's going to give him 4 blocks during his ultimate. And additionally, ranged enemies will also prioritize attacking him. I think that's more for generic story content. And the defense increase goes up to 15%. So second passive, each time ultimate cast increases defense by 10% permanently, stacking up to 2 times. So max stack goes up to 4, 15%, that's going to be 60% defense. And wow, he actually gets 1 extra block upon max stack. So that's going to be 6 blocks on this guy. So 5 block by default when you have Bastion Ring on him. And then with his ultimate on, it's going to be, you know, 6 blocks instead. And let's see his ultimate grants defense increase for up to 3 adjacent allies, channels to deal 140% AoE damage every 2 seconds, 5 enemies in range. Additionally, if directly hit by enemies, hero will trigger counter attack to deal 300% damage 1 time. I don't really agree with how he's dealing like a bit of damage here and there. It doesn't really sound like he's gonna be doing that much. I think most of his hit is gonna be coming from blocking. I may be wrong though. There may be a way that this works really well, but given that the only AoE kit comes from his passive, his talent, there's a 15% chance to trigger that 120% AoE, and then with his ultimate, he passively just triggers, but that's every 2 seconds. So it's a bit odd how he has a bit of damage there, but once again, defense scaling, right? So never know how that goes. Almost similar stats to Krodor. I mean, I thought the 2 of them were the same hero until I actually went in to check in the game. So, yeah. And I really like his design, really cool. Looks like a porcupine, and you know, his spikes are actually glowing, so that's really cool. And let's look at Awakenings. When HP is below 50%, reduces all damage taken by 30% for 5 seconds and can be triggered up to 1 time every 40 seconds. A2 is extra defense. A3 deals 20% extra damage to enemies blocked by himself. Once again, trying to make him do damage. So I really wonder if this guy will actually do any good at all in Gear 1. Especially if you have Cyrus as Lord. Then damage reduction, A5, when receiving fatal damage for the first time, restores 30% of max HP immediately. Not gonna lie, that looks like the worst awakening that he has. I think A4, A3, A2, A1 are all great. A5 is just dog poop. Yeah, like can't they make this? I mean, it ensures that he doesn't get one shot, but it only takes place once. So it's sort of like a second life, I guess, because like you sort of get unyielding from this, but I don't really see how that's a great A5. At least not from like what I've seen so far from his kit. Doesn't really synergize well at all. So he does do magic damage, which is why I feel like, you know, maybe, just maybe, he might do well in Gear 1 somehow, but it's hard to know without testing. And alongside him, we do have Cerberus. Cerberus is great. I've used him in a lot of content. I've done lots of testing with him. In my auto run for Gear 121, he's also there. I wish I had more copies of him. A3 is really where the things get juicy. Where he doubles all the damage that he does where, you know, if it's a ground effect area type of damage. So A5 is really where he shines in Immortal Codex because the HP consumption from his passive gets reduced significantly, which is where most of his damage is done when he's still alive. So this actually prolongs how long he stays alive for. But yeah, overall not the best banner if you ask me. I'm not sure if there's a 2x banner, but if there isn't one, I would advise newbies to skip this banner. I don't think these heroes are gonna make that big of a difference, but there is Maul though. Maul is a great marksman. I use him even now in my GVG and also my Gear 3 auto run. So yeah, I don't think this banner is really worth summoning for, in my opinion. Unless you're a collector, you want to collect Trusk, then go for it. But at the end of the day, this guy is going to be available in the normal summoning pools throughout the entire game anyways. Like, he's not going to disappear or anything, so don't really feel the need to go. But I do like Krodor. I think that guy is pretty cool. And he is a fusion, so I'm definitely gonna like work on that. And I don't think it's gonna be really tough as long as you farm your gear and stuff. Like, I don't think you really need to summon to probably get him. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you found it helpful running through these two heroes. Both defenders, not the most appealing type of heroes, if I can be honest, but you know, we're gonna need some of those defenders anyways at some point, especially for Hellfire Emperor Codex. So with these two guys offering 6 blocks with their ultimates, things are gonna get really juicy. But that's gonna be it for the video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.